Inserted neckline plackets give a sportswear finish to a blouse or a dress. There is the inserted placket that is finished with buttonholes, completely encasing the seam allowance. This garment cannot be easily worn open. This is an inserted neckline placket that has its own facing attached and may be worn open or closed. Buttons and buttonholes may be also included in finishing this type of placket. Let's see how we make the inserted neckline plackets. To attach the placket with a self facing, we start with a prepared facing, a left front and a right front, with your edges finished. You stay stitch the base of the neck opening exactly where your seam allowance finishes. We will now attach the facings with right sides together. We will pin the facing to the front of the garment. Both left and right sides should be done exactly at the same time. Basting is not important. If you're using a lightweight fabric, you will have to interface the complete placket. I mean having an interfacing going right to the edge of the placket part. Make sure you have a pin going exactly into the corner that has been stay stitched, exactly into this corner. This pin will signal where you are to stop your stitching. We'll now stitch using the required amount of seam allowance. Generally, a placket is inserted with 1/4 inch seam allowance. We'll stitch down first one side, and when you come to your intersecting point, very carefully come to that point and tack it. Remove the needle, raise the presser foot, and clip off your thread. You should have come exactly to that point. We'll stitch the other half and then turn the tab or placket to the right side. Once more, remove your needle, raise your presser foot, and trim away the thread. The next step is to clip into our corners. Clipping of the corners is very important, that you do not clip too far or that you're too shy of the corner. You clip right into the corner and stop just short of the stay stitching. Once more, just shy of the stay stitching. We'll now bring our tabs or placket. Occasionally these are called tabs, especially in menswear. We will fold over the edge of the placket so that it just fits into the space between the corners. Bend your seam allowance into the placket. That's one piece all ready to go. We bring our other one. We're turning them to the inside of the garment. And once more, making sure you have enough room for the space between your corners. Just enough space. Again, crease it. Now, we switch over to the right side of the garment, because it is at this point that you have to make sure that you, if making a woman's shirt, will open the placket right over left. And if making a man's shirt, you would reverse the procedure and go left over right. Now, with the placket in position, pin them lightly so you can hold it and it will not shift. And slip both plackets through to the wrong side. This little piece of fabric is left over from when we clipped into the corners. This is now our seam allowance that we will attach the tab to the front of the garment. Turn it in to the wrong side, so they're what we would call clean finished, and bring the whole plackets, front, top, bottom, and the garment together. We're now going to sew. If you wish to secure it with basting to test the opening, you may. Otherwise, we will stitch it. Everything has to be tight and pressed well, because you don't want any puckers. The process of stitching the tab to this opening leaves a little bit of a raw edge on the inside of the garment. But the garment, when finished, that edge will be quite well secured and will not be in the way. We start by placing the press-a-foot just short of the corner, stitching across and stitching across the entire seam, making sure your stitches are on the garment side of the stay stitching. Tack and remove the garment from the needle, raising the press-a-foot to release the tension. The placket with the self-facing. This way you may wear the garment open and will not reveal the seam that attaches the placket to the garment. The tailored shirt placket calls for two distinct different shapes to your insert: the under placket and the over placket. The over placket will have a top stitched tab. We start with this particular neckline placket with the wrong side of the garment up and the right side of the plackets down. Insert or attach your strips of fabric to the edge of the garment. Stay stitch the opening of the placket at the base of the opening. Pin down and locate with a pin the intersecting point of your stay stitching. That is the bottom corners. We'll stitch it using the desired amount of seam allowance, which is generally 1/4 of an inch. Stop at your corner and tack. Raise the needle, raise the press-a-foot to release the tension, and remove the garment from the needle. Repeat this process on the opposite half of the garment. Once more, stop at the bottom corner. And remove from the sewing machine. The next step is to clip into your corners to release the fabric and to enable you to insert your placket. With the left placket now, we turn the seam allowance in towards the placket, and we bring the placket to the right side of the garment. Turn your corner in and fold the placket so that it will just come to the opposite corner. Turn under your seam allowance so it will just cover the stitching. On the other half of the placket. And pin carefully so it just covers the stitches. We're going to top stitch this piece of your garment in place. You do not stitch beyond the corner at the base of the placket. Top stitching, as you know, varies from in seam allowance. We're going to just use an edge stitch away from the seam allowance, from the edge of the garment with our top stitching. Occasionally, a 1/4 of an inch top stitch is used or added for a more decorative finish. We're now ready to secure the left insert by holding the edges of the bottom of your placket, a garment, to the bottom of the placket, the left placket only. Sometimes a little more clipping is necessary to make sure that it clears the corner. We'll stitch across the bottom of the tab or placket. Starting at one corner and stopping just short of the other corner. This enables your placket to point downward. We'll now take the other half of the garment and slip the whole placket through to the right side. And let's turn to the right side now. We're now going to fold the placket over on an invisible folding line, which just covers the under placket. Pin it in place. Turn under the raw edge of the insert, just covering your seam line, and pin it in place. Care should be taken that the corner is covered. We must tuck under our corners or point of this placket so that it ends exactly at the center of the garment. A little urging is sometimes needed to secure this little point. Pin it in place, and we will baste, making sure that you baste across at the base of the under tab. At this point, you are going to put a basting stitch right across the garment. We'll baste across, and then turn our corner and baste around the whole placket. Our placket has been basted, and we're now ready to top stitch. We'll top stitch down around the tab or base of the placket and across the bottom. Watch your corners. When you come to a corner, hold your needle down, swing your fabric around. That will give you a nice sharp point. Right angle, so we will encase the bottom of the under tab. When you come to the end of your row, gently raise the needle and pull on the thread, and leaving about 4 inches of thread, we'll pull the stitches to the wrong side and knot. We'll tie a knot, and remove the basting, and our shirt placket with a pointed tab is finished. At this point, if you wish to, you may put buttonholes in. Generally, buttonholes are put in vertically, the shirt tab.